Today, we predict every NFL Week 2 game. The ball is on the 25, and it is 1st and 10. Welcome back to the show. Today, folks, it's going to be a fun episode. We're going through every single Week 2 game of the NFL, giving our picks, Metro's picks, my picks. We got our lock of the week, the underdog of the week. Let's go through them all today. It's going to be fun. Metro, sir, are you ready to go?
Yes, Week 1 was an absolute movie. It was cinema. It was incredible, especially the Ravens versus Buffalo. This week, we have a couple of excellent matchups here. So we're going to go through every single game, give our opinions. We also have one underdog of the week. These have to be teams that are +4 on FanDuel. And we have our lock of the week. This is a game that we believe 100% a certain team is going to win. When we get to those games, we'll let you know. With that said, do you want to kick us off with the Thursday Night Football, or do you want to let us know the results from last week?
Yes, results from last week. We will start there and be brief about it. Metro and I both put our scores in, our projections in. We both currently sit at a 50% hit rate. We got 8 games correct, pending the Monday Night Football game. Metro and I went Splitsville. He chose Minnesota. I chose the Bears. Whoever's correct will win 9 for the week, be at about 55% hit rate. The other person will be at about 50. So all we're saying is we're not wrong. We're guessing at least at 50% and up. We're not telling y'all some BS. So, Metro, any other comments before we get into this awesome Week 2 slate?
Yeah, for context, we're recording this we're about a quarter and a half into the Monday Night Football game. So we still are waiting on some of the results here with this one, but we're trying to push those ones back as far as possible. So we'll talk about the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears with some context from this game, but without the full context. So when we get to those games, we'll let you know what goes on. So, Thursday Night Football.
Let's do it. Thursday Night Football. It's going to be 7:15 on the dot on Prime TV. We got the Washington Commanders going on the road, going to Green Bay at Lambeau Field. A very good team just visited Green Bay, as in the Detroit Lions, and they got their ass kicked. Should we see more of that against the Commanders? What say you? Our current picks are: we both have the Green Bay Packers winning at home, a clean slate from both Metro and I. Metro, why are you so confident that the Green Bay Packers are going to win this game?
I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I feel pretty good about it. My thought process really is Washington played sort of a sloppy, stuck-in-the-mud style game versus the New York Giants. They made enough plays. They got the job done. The Giants are a scrappy team. They can make things difficult. But the Green Bay Packers went up against a very talented Detroit Lions team, and they handled business for the most part. So I went with the Packers. I think they have a more talented roster, a great offensive line. Micah Parsons is notorious for really being good against Washington. I think they have the secondary. Corners really proved a lot to me this past week. They have the receivers. They have the running backs. I think Green Bay is right now the better team. I do think Washington and that element of running with the quarterback does make this game very interesting. And Washington has proven that they can beat quality teams. So while we both have Green Bay winning, I think Washington definitely has a shot to win this game.
Well said, man. The X factor in that game obviously is the best quarterback on the field, Jaden Daniels, but it's his leg ability that he has to get out of the pocket, scramble, and get down the field. That opens his pass rush up to potential bad possibilities. Luckily for Green Bay, they have Mr. Gary, who's a great athlete, as well as a new face as Micah Parsons. They could track him down, but like you mentioned, if he gets outside the pocket, this could be a problem for the Green Bay Packers. You ready to pivot to our next game here on the list? You got anything else, sir?
Yeah, one last note. Adrian Cooper. Keep an eye on him. Very athletic linebacker. I think he could do a lot of good things. Okay, let's move on to no Friday games, correct?
No Friday games this week. Nobody is in Brazil. Next one we have is going to be on Sunday at noon. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars going on the road to play the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincy last week beat the Browns by 8 points, and Jacksonville took down the Carolina Panthers. Two underwhelming opponents in the past week, if I must say so myself. Don't mean to throw any shade, but now they face each other. Cincy's looking for a bounce back, even though they won by just a little bit, and I think Jacksonville is looking to prove that they are true competitors in the NFL. I took Cincy here in this game. I think this will be a bounce-back game for them. Metro took Jacksonville. He's doubling down on what he believes in this team. Metro, what are you looking for in this game? What's going to be the deciding factor between these two teams?
Can the Jaguars limit Jamar Chase like somehow the Cleveland Browns were able to do so? my thought process and the reason why I picked the Jacksonville Jaguars, both these teams went up against probably the bottom two teams in the NFL, at least after week 1. And the Jaguars, while not perfectly, they handled their business. Cincinnati, sure, they win, so technically they handled their business, but boy, was it ugly. It was a ugly game. Joe Burrow, less than 150 passing yards. Jamar Chase, I think, had like 2 catches on the day. Very ugly game for the Cincinnati Bengals. I do think they will bounce back, and I think you're going to see a pretty heavy dose of offense. I just trust this Jaguars defense a little bit more, even though they didn't, they don't have that much talent. This is going to be, at least I think, an offensive battle. If this game comes down to defenses, I would put my money on Jacksonville because I think they can get after the quarterback a little bit. I think they have some decent members in the secondary. The X factor for Jacksonville, in my opinion, will be Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. as receivers. And then, of course, for Travis Hunter, I want to see him be a little bit more used as a DB in this game. There's a lot of talent on Cincy in the receiving core. Let's see Travis Hunter use that coverage ability a tad bit here. So I went with Jacksonville. Admittedly speaking, I'm not terribly confident in it. I'm about 50-50 on this one, but I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars for the coin toss.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was actually about to pitch the question, how much would you play Hunter at DB this game? Are you thinking 50-50 this game or primarily on defense this game? What are your thoughts?
Well, they used him, and don't quote me on the stat, I think they only gave him 3 coverage snaps against the Panthers last week, and in those 3 coverage snaps, he gave up 1 catch. So I'm either thinking one of 2 things: either A, they're purposefully holding him back so that way, since he doesn't have any film on him, or he's just a wide receiver basically who can occasionally play defense. I kind of believe in this matchup, you need as much help in the secondary as possible. You draft the dude number 2 overall for a reason. I think you should use him in this game. Do I want to see Travis Hunter lined up versus T. Higgins or Jamar Chase right now? Probably not. I mean, just being honest with you, I really don't want to. But let Travis Hunter ball. Let him be competitive. He's a good player, very talented. Let's see him get physical out there. I don't think it's 50-50. I think he'll be on. If Joe Burrow throws the ball 30 times, I think he'll be on 10 of them. That's my guess.
Okay, that's a pretty
33.
high snap count for somebody trying to split time. So
yeah.
I like to hear it. I think it's a good move schematic-wise for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I agree with you, man. I think that's their path to win this game. While I did pick Cincy, when he gets to the red zone and you're in more tight coverage, allow Mr. Hunter to be athletic and explosive and eliminate some of those superpowers that Higgins and Chase has when they get down in the 20-yard line and deeper for the offense. I'm going Cincy simply because of superpowers and their superstars. Yeah. Obviously, their defense is kind of bahooky, as we know, but I just think they're going to bounce back, and their schedule after this game gets pretty rough, so I think they know it's time to light it up and win a game. Anything else, Metro? It's going to be a fun matchup, honestly. I'll be looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we need of course, if you're a Jaguars fan, you don't want this, but if you're a Bengals fan, you need to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase bounce back. Last week was just, it was inexcusable. You got to play better. You got the win last week versus a bad Browns team. This week, Jacksonville's they're not a top 15 team right now. They're not a top 15 team. If you're Cincinnati, you want to make the playoffs, you got to win this game. So big game here for Cincinnati.
This is what I'll be watching at noon. Let's go to our next noon game. We have the New York Giants against Metro's team, the Dallas Cowboys. This one will be in Dallas and Arlington, to be more specific, on Fox at noon. This one's going to be fun. Dak and the Cowboys took on the reigning Super Bowl champions last Thursday, and they looked really damn good. Dak was making good throws. The stat sheet won't show it, but he was throwing tight window balls, getting it to his wide receivers, or at least giving them a chance to catch the ball. And then for the Giants, offense could not move. Russ was not cooking besides SpaghettiOs. He was just lacking the talent to get it done. But he didn't have any turnovers, just didn't have any spark to this offense. Defense looked fine, I think about as much as you could do against a Jaden Daniels offense for the Commanders. We both took Dallas in this one. I would like to take the Giants here for a little bit of fun on an upset. I took them last week. Let's give them a break, ice them, let them get their shit together, might I say. And Metro, you're the Cowboys fan. Typically, Dallas has a history of winning this game, but besides the history, why are you leaning towards Dallas?
Yeah, I was just going to bring up that Dak is 13-2 over 15 games versus the New York Giants. I mean, this dude is just he owns the New York Giants. He's beat them multiple times. And the Giants have not really changed much on the offensive end from what they were last year. I think they're maybe a little bit better on the offensive end. This game could be more competitive because I do think the defense for the New York Giants can keep them in the game here. Ultimately, CeeDee Lamb, catch the damn football. If he does that, I think George Pickens has a nice big game here. I think they run the football effectively. Maybe they get some turnovers. Maybe they get to the quarterback a little bit more. I think Dallas is just the better team, and I think they'll cruise to another win here. I'm thinking score-wise, 24-14. That's my guess.
Yeah, I'm aligned with you on the Pickens having a big game. I think this is where he steps up against not bad. I think their pass rush is fantastic and their front seven's great, but you have opportunities on the outside when they're covering CD like they will be. Giants, if you win this game, season turns around real fast because you got a tough schedule ahead, but Cowboys currently have the more confidence for us to both make the picks and them today. Let's go to our next game. We have the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. This one will be in Detroit at noon as well on Fox. We both took the Detroit Lions, but Metro, I'm going to be honest, man. After watching one series of Caleb Williams go from point guard to Superman, I'm a little bit concerned. Now, the reason I took Detroit because they're my team, so I'll speak real quickly to them. Dan Campbell is a head coach, and you could say he's a schematics guy. I don't think he is. I think he's more of a leader of men, and this is what leader of men do. When you get your ass kicked on the road against an in-division rival, you bounce right back at home and get back in the saddle. It could be ugly. It could be pretty. Doesn't matter. Just win, baby. I think he will have the troops ready to go and pissed off in week 2 and for the rest of the season. But Metro, what say you?
Yeah, basically took the words right out of my mouth here. I think Detroit, you got punked last week. You know, they caught you slipping. They pulled your pants down, and they embarrassed you in front of your crush.
That's assault, brother.
Well, that's what the Green Bay Packers did to you guys. It was on live TV. They just destroyed you guys. And I think this week versus a Chicago Bears team that's very good. They're a very talented team. They're playing so far. We're at near the second half here, so they've played so far really well in the first half, and they're making plays. So, Chicago's a good team. They will be competitive. This will not be a blowout. And in fairness, Chicago has, for the most part, been somewhat competitive in these NFC North matchups here. So I expect a really close, contested game here. But Detroit has to bounce back. I know it's week 2. This is kind of a must-win for Detroit. This is kind of a must-win. You can't start your year off 0-2 in the division, especially if you want to be a team that contends later in the season, especially for the division. This is a big matchup for the Detroit Lions, and I think the Detroit Lions are going to win. I think Dan Campbell's really going to have the troops riled up, pissed off, and they're going to be hitting hard out there. I think this is going to be a nice bounce-back game here for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. This all starts with Detroit running the football. If they can't do it against the Bears, it is DEFCON 5, maybe DEFCON 3 here for the Lions. Like you said, must win in week 2. Let's go to our next game. We got the Los Angeles Rams going on the road after a big win against the Texans, and we're going to Tennessee to play the Titans. This one in Nashville, of course, going to be at noon. We both have the Los Angeles Rams winning this one, and Metro has his lock of the week. That means there's a big-time penalty if he gets this one wrong. He believes in the Rams after what he saw last week. Metro, let me hear why you all have pristine confidence in this group of men.
Yeah, it's a weird way to word it. My pristine confidence in this large group of men.
Strong
men. Very strong men. My supreme confidence in them. The Rams, in a lot of ways, remind me of Denver in some ways, where good offensive head coach, great defensive line that can get after the quarterback, and that's what I kind of see happening here. Tennessee made enough plays to keep the game competitive, but I don't see the Rams turning the ball over 4 times like the Denver Broncos did last week. So I think as long as the Rams take care of the football, if they score 21-plus points, they're probably going to win the game. Now, the Rams did not come out the gates last week firing on all cylinders. It was a very kind of methodical, stuck-in-the-mud type of game. A lot of mistakes for the Rams. I think in this one, as long as you show up, as long as you play to 75% of what you're capable of doing, you will win this game. Tennessee, I think you like what you saw from Cam Ward in week 1. Not perfect, but he made a couple throws, had a couple big drops. They kept the game close. They had a chance to win it late. It's just, I don't see a pathway for Tennessee to win this game at this stage of the season. That said, though, I believe this is played in Tennessee. Not sure how much home crowd will play to their favor, but maybe that helps Cam Ward be a bit more calm. Maybe that helps the receivers a little bit. There's a path for Tennessee, but I think the Rams are going to run away with this one. I think the Rams are Super Bowl contenders. I think Tennessee is competing for the number 1 pick. These are just two teams in totally different ballparks right now.
Hey, everything you said is correct. Play devil's advocate because we've been pretty consistent all day long.
Yeah.
Path for Tennessee, as you mentioned, I thought Cam Ward looked really good in game 1. Stat sheet does not show it, but you go look at all his throws during the day. So many drops from the wide receivers. He was making excellent reads and throws over the middle and on the outside of the field. I liked what I saw a lot. Also making some smart plays to dirt the ball when on a wide receiver screen, nobody turned around to catch the damn football. And they're in their own safeties. It was a mess. Point being, his team's not helping him. He looked really good. If his team helps him a little bit, maybe we get competitive here in week 2. But as of today, we're both going to take the Los Angeles Rams. Anything else, Metro?
No. Expect a big day here from Puka Nacua if he plays. I don't know if he's going to play. Didn't he have an injury in this game?
I thought he did.
Yeah, if he plays. If Puka plays, big game. If not, I want to see a big day from Devontae Adams. I think one of those two guys could go off in this one.
Hear that, fantasy players? Be ready to go against Tennessee. Next game we have is going to be the New England Patriots going on the road to play the Miami Dolphins, who look like they're currently in shambles. And with that being said, Metro and I on the clean sweep both took New England in this game. From what we saw last week from Miami, all offseason we heard vibes are bad. People went out the building. People actually got traded out the building because they wanted out so bad. There we go. We got there. And it was true. In week 1 against the Colts, not even a pristine team. I don't mean to be offensive. You're not playing the Rams. You're not playing Green Bay. You're playing the Colts. They're competitive, but they're not the best. They got their ass kicked. I think it was 31-8. It did not look pretty. Daniel Jones looked like the second savior of Indianapolis, while Tua looked lost. I mean, he had 2 interceptions, pressured all day, not all his fault. Also a fumble on the ground. Vibes are bad. Their schedule gets really, really tough after this one. They kind of need to win this game. I think New England is more physical, and after they get hit in the mouth, speaking of Miami, they will fold over like a lawn chair. And that's my bold prediction. New England's not uber talented on defense to win this game, so Miami could run it up as they typically do. They got superstars to do that. But Metro, I've yapped enough. You know why I like New England. What about you?
Yeah, I think New England didn't impress me in week 1, but they could have won that game. They made some mistakes. They couldn't convert in the red zone, penalties, things that you want cleaned up, right? So I think if New England cleans that up, they possibly could have beat Las Vegas, and I think Las Vegas is a good team. Miami was a no-show, and I don't know how either one of us in good faith can look at what Miami did last week and then tell you guys, hey, put your money on Miami, because Miami was a no-show last week. They did not show up. Vibes, as you mentioned, they're in the gutters right now. You got Tua in the press conference pressing reporters for saying he has a turnover problem, which Tua doesn't have a turnover problem, but I regress. I think this is a bad matchup too. New England has pieces defensively that can go. We saw Harold Landry have a nice day last week. I think he could be in for a big one here. You got Robert Spillane. I think Christian Gonzalez is there. I'm not sure if he's healthy or not. But you got a whole bunch of guys here for the Patriots who can make plays, create turnovers. A very similar unit to the Colts in a lot of ways on the defensive end. So I just don't think it's a great matchup. And then now on the offensive end, I think there's, some concerns about, can New England guard or protect Drake May with all these pass rushers for Miami. That's a fair conversation, but, Drake May had success throwing the football last week. They should be able to run the football a little bit better. I'm not expecting a blowout here. I don't think Miami loses 33-8 like they did to the Colts, but I am expecting New England to pull this one off. And if that is the case, we got to have a conversation about McDaniel's job security after week 2, which is a crazy thing to talk about. But we'll have to wait and see. I think there's a lot of stuff here to prove, and I'm going to go with New England.
Are you feeling more comfortable? No, that's a bad question. Better question. If Tennessee and Miami played today, and we played in Miami, who's winning?
I got to go with Miami. It's a tough question. I still think Cleveland, Carolina, even Tennessee, possibly New Orleans are worse than Miami. But if they play like how they did last week in these next couple weeks, they're the worst team in the NFL. They've got to take a step forward because last week, or I guess yesterday, about as ugly as it could physically get. So we'll wait and see. Miami, a lot to prove, lot to build on, a lot to improve.
Lot to improve. Let's go to our next game. It's going to be, we got a split here. Love to see. We got San Francisco going on the road to play the New Orleans Saints. For clarification, this is Metro's underdog of the week. +4 or more on FanDuel. Roof, not sponsored by FanDuel, but that's just what we use for an equal balance. Metro, San Francisco. They got a good win here against the division rival against the Seattle Seahawks, 17-13 last week. Squad looked good. Purdy made some good throws, made some bad throws. Chris McCaffrey looked electric per usual. And Ricky Pearsall with a 100-yard game. Why are you so confident? Maybe not confidence word. What is the path to the upset here for the New Orleans Saints at home?
For context, we decide every single week we're going to do at least one underdog. And so you have limited choices for who the we do +4 on FanDuel. So we're looking at all the +4s. There was actually a couple really tempting ones. But I went with New Orleans because New Orleans was very competitive last week. I like what I saw from Spencer Rattler, but that was not the reason why I did this. I did this because I don't know if Brock Purdy or George Kittle are playing next week. If Brock Purdy does not play, Mac Jones is the starter, and I'm pretty sure George Kittle is already confirmed not to play next week. And we know Christian McCaffrey's a tackle away from being on IR. No, knock on wood, of course, but it's possible. This is a Niners team that I just can't trust the health with. And they didn't play incredible last week. They made enough plays to win. They can't kick a damn field goal right now. Their quarterback threw 2 interceptions last week. I could see New Orleans winning this one. I could see them winning it. If New Orleans plays clean football, if they can run the football with Alvin Kamara, Spencer Rattler, if he can be 60% completion percentage for 215 yards and at least 1 touchdown, Alvin Kamara has a nice day. The defense holds up their end of the bargain. Sure, give me the Saints. Why not?
Fire me up. And yes, confirming Kittle is already out for this game. Purdy is questionable. He'll probably play, but man, you never know. You just never know.
What's the actual injury? Do you know?
Let me take a look. It should be right here.
Here, I got it. 49ers are expected to give Purdy a toe and shoulder injury.
Both.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes the entire week ahead of this upcoming Sunday game at New Orleans to see if he'll be healthy enough to play. I do think he'll play, if I'm being honest with you. But in the weird case he doesn't play, my underdog pick's looking pretty damn good. So I'm going with that one.
I like the vision. I see it, Metro. And as Metro mentioned, there's only like 3 games a week with +4 or more for these NFL teams. So great pick right there. Ahead of the curve. We love it. Lock in that pick if you're trying to get after some underdog picks. I got nothing else to say. I think San Fran's got talent, but like you said, the whole thing about them is staying healthy. And damn it, it's week 2 already. We're not even out of September, and we're already talking about health for this team. So New Orleans, you're on the clock. Hope you can win this one at home. Next game is going to be the Buffalo Bills going on the road to the feisty New York Jets. We both took the Buffalo Bills after a big-time win in the fourth quarter comeback against the Ravens last Sunday night, which was last night for reference. This game was awesome. Now, the Jets looked feisty as hell. They ran the ball well. Fields looked good, dare I might say. He looked explosive with his legs and also with his arm. This team has something to play for, and this is an in-division rival. I would not be surprised if this game's closer than we expect after last week's performance from the Jets. But Metro, what's the X factor for this game? What are your thoughts?
If the Jets want to win this game, they got to force turnovers. Look, the Buffalo Bills just damn near scored 50 points on the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have an excellent defense. Listen, Baltimore probably should have won the game. Fumble, this, and that. Everything had to go their way. They still won. The Buffalo Bills get the win after week 1, and they're probably the best team in the NFL after 1 week. I think this is it's an unfortunate turn of events for the Jets here because you had an awesome week 1 game where you played so well but just came up short. Now you got to go up against Buffalo. And Buffalo is just a good team. They're on a different stratosphere. If the Jets want to win this one, Buffalo has to come out and they have to play not good, right? They have to have a bit of a snooze fest, for example. And they got to create turnovers. 3 and outs. You got to stuff the run. Force Josh Allen to make some plays, and he will. But make him work for everything. If you can do that, maybe the Jets have a chance because I think they can score in this game, especially after what we saw last week versus the Steelers. But I still think Buffalo wins. I think they win quite comfortably. But The Jets are a feisty team. I love Aaron Glenn. I think he did a great job last week. If he can win this game, just give him Coach of the Year already.
Give it to him. Just
Give it to him.
put it in a breadbasket, ship it to his front door. This man deserves it. No questions asked. Metro, I'm not going to just get a dog on the Jets some more here. I think the Buffalo Bills are a fantastic team, as we both know. If anybody can do it in division, I feel like the Jets got a fighting chance after that performance we saw last week. Let's go on to our next game. We got a Splitsville here. Love to see it. Who's going to win? We got the Seattle Seahawks going on the road to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Metro with the road team, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. Metro, I'll let you argue, then I'll argue. Let's do this.
Yeah, this one was a tough one because in the preseason, I felt Seattle was the better team. But after week one, I feel like Pittsburgh's the better team. I didn't want to overreact to what I saw from Pittsburgh's offense and even their defense to some level on the more negative side. But I felt like Seattle left a lot of stuff on the bone. I think there's a lot more to unlock with this offense. If they can run the football like the Jets did, if they can pass the football efficiently, if you can get Cooper Kupp going, Elijah Arroyo going, then I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. Play good defense, handle your business. Pittsburgh, you're relying on Aaron Rodgers still, but I think Seattle will be able to get after the quarterback consistently. I think they can force some turnovers, and I think they will be able to contain Pittsburgh's offense. I'm actually expecting sort of a lower scoring game here with a lot of defense. Thinking 20-17, give me Seattle.
Metro wants some gritty football.
Yep.
I love the breakdown for the Seattle Seahawks. My breakdown for the Steelers. Unk threw 4 touchdowns last week and got sacked 4 times. All right. Yep. 4 for 4. It's like a Wendy's meal deal. They were already getting after him, and he still had a great day. He looked comfortable back there. He looked happy, as you mentioned in our previous episode. These are things I love to see with my quarterback, who it's a very important factor moving forward here for the Steelers. I like what they saw on offense. Defense obviously looks sketchy. At home, this gets a much bigger boost because those terrible towels are waving and whipping around. I think the Steelers play a much better game on defense. Rodgers throws 2 touchdowns, keeps it conservative, doesn't have any picks, and they walk out of this with a win. Like you said, you're sticking true to what we saw or what we thought in the preseason because we both had the Steelers lower than the Seahawks. I'm overreacting. I'm taking game 1 with everything, not a grain of salt, with everything moving into week 2. I'll take Unk and the Steelers over the Seattle Seahawks. Anything else, Mr. Metro?
Yeah, that's fair. I think if Pittsburgh can really get after Seattle, I think they can win. If Seattle can get after Aaron Rodgers, I think they can win because I think both these teams have talented members in the secondary. So I think it does come down to this pass rush and which offensive line plays better. I feel slightly better about Seattle's, though I will say Rodgers outplayed Darnold pretty significantly.
Well said, man. Well said. Let's go on to our final noon game of Sunday. It is the Joe Flacco revenge game. Flacco and the Cleveland Browns go on the road to play the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens just came off a really tough loss from the Bills, and also the Browns just lost by 1 to the Cincy Bengals at home. Both these teams will be pissed off. This is an in-divisional game. These are typically closer than we'd like them to be, but Metro and I both took the Baltimore Ravens, with the Ravens being my lock of the week. Reason for the lock of the week, I don't mean to be that guy. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Nobody can stop Derrick Henry, maybe besides that absolute beast on the edge in Myles Garrett. I'm not concerned. Carson Schwarzenegger had a fantastic day for the Browns, but I don't think their defense can hold up against this rushing attack. They will crumble at some point. The Bills have that heart and dog in them. Don't mean to use dog against the Browns here, but have that dog in them. So they came back in the fourth quarter. I don't think that culture is quite there for Cleveland to make that comeback when they go down, because they will to the Baltimore Ravens. That's why they're my lock. Metro, what do you see in this game?
Yeah, I mean, in division matchups, anything crazy could happen. It's totally possible that Baltimore comes out flat after a huge letdown last week. It's possible. But if you're Baltimore, you're down 0-1. You lose to a Buffalo Bills team that you probably should have beat, right? You were up 40-25 with 3 minutes left at one point, right? So you should have won that game. Let's be honest. You now go against the Cleveland Browns. Just show up 30% of your usual self and you'll win. Right? This Ravens team is so good and so talented. Let's get the defense ball in here. Let's minimize Joe Flacco. Let's get after the quarterback. Let's stuff Jerry Jeudy in this rushing game. And on the offensive end, Lamar, do your thing. Derrick Henry, go, score 6 more 100-yard touchdowns. Like, whenever Derrick Henry, he will get stuffed like 5 plays in a row. Then he'll break off like an 80-yard touchdown. They all look the exact same, by the way. It's the exact same thing where he's like shifting around, finds a hole, and then he's gone. And you don't think a 230-pound man, 250, however big he is, can run that fast. This dude is outrunning 195-pound corners. This guy is an absolute freak of nature. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. Big bounce back day. Bounce back is not the right word. Big games for Lamar and for Derrick Henry because they were great last week too.
Big time win for the Ravens is what we're both predicting. Let's pivot to our 3 p.m. slate here for Sunday football. First game we're going to talk about. This one's I'll be watching this game without a doubt, maybe even more over some other games. Denver's going on the road to play the Indianapolis Colts. Metro and I here are Splitsville. Got to stop saying Splitsville, but we are against each other in this matchup. Metro is taking Indianapolis. I'm taking Denver on the road. This feels like a classic flip of what we had with Pittsburgh and the Seahawks.
Yeah,
Seahawks we predicted higher on our power rankings before the season, but Pittsburgh looked pretty damn good in week 1, so I gave them the nod. This time Metro's giving Indy the nod in week 1 after Indiana Jones goes crazy in week 1, looked like an NFL starting franchise quarterback. Metro, you got the upset here, a bold one, might I say. What is giving you the itch for the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, this was a weird one because I understand I'm sort of contradicting myself where I was like, I'm going to go with my preseason.
It's what you see.
Well, yes, but at the same time I said Seattle. I was looking more at what happened prior to the season. I think what I saw from Denver in their week 1 game versus Tennessee kind of gave me some pause here against this Indianapolis Colts team. Denver, 4 turnovers, a lot of undisciplined things, and I didn't feel like Bo Nix played as well as I wanted him to. Not saying sophomore slump, not saying he's going to play bad in this one. Indianapolis went out there and in 4 straight quarters executed and dismantled a Miami Dolphins team that some people had making the playoffs, right? They dismantled them. I worry about Daniel Jones this game. I do. But if Indiana Jones can go out there, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, play efficiently, I think they can win this one. And if you were to ask me preseason, I would have picked Denver. I probably would have picked Denver by double digits. But after week 1, I didn't love what I saw from Denver. I felt like they were sloppy. They didn't look like what I thought they were going to look like. Whereas for Indianapolis, create turnovers on defense, which is what you want to see. They got pressure on Tua. I think they may potentially could get pressure on Bo Nix. They stuffed the run well. Denver didn't really run the football incredibly last week. I think that Indianapolis will have the offensive pieces. I think they'll be ready. The coaching staff has a lot to prove. So I went with the underdog here. Again, sort of a coin toss game for me here, but why not? Give me Indianapolis.
I respect it, man. If you didn't watch this game, because I understand Colts and Dolphins, maybe you didn't turn it on. Daniel Jones last week went 22 for 29, 272 yards, a touchdown, sacked once, but on the ground, he had 2 touchdowns in the rushing attack and 26 yards. He had over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, a hat trick on the day. He played phenomenal for a quarterback who was battling out for the starting job. That's how you want to start your season when your job is on the line. Metro, I think you summarized it perfectly. You ready to go to our next game?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next 3 p.m. slate game is going to be the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young going on the road to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Cardinals squeaked out a win against the Saints last week, and then the Carolina Panthers took a pretty bad loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Bryce Young in particular didn't look very good. This game is a tough one for Bryce, but I think he has to show more than he showed in week 1. Also, for who we picked, we both took Arizona in this game. In the preseason, we were pretty big on Arizona. Kind of concerning how they only beat the Saints by 7 points last week, but if they are who they say they are, I think they put the throttle down in week 2. I think they should have a better roster overall. I think Kyler is a better quarterback. Is this the first time these two have played each other? 2 quarterbacks under 5'9", just going to battle? It feels kind of wrong.
It feels like it. Maybe they've played in his rookie season, but I don't remember Kyler versus Bryce Young. But yeah, we got 2 midgets playing.
You can't say that word. We're live on the air, Metro. You can't say that, but that shit's hilarious. Let's move. But yeah, these are two smaller quarterbacks. Can they get it done? You always wonder, can you have a quarterback under 5'10"? Kyler paved the road. He's not an all-star by any means. He's sometimes a Pro Bowl quarterback, but he's shown you could do it. Bryce Young hasn't quite put it together yet. Metro, why are we giving the Cardinals a nod here over Carolina?
Yeah, I just didn't like what I saw from Carolina last week. It was about as poor of a start you could imagine for Bryce. Some turnovers, poor offensive line play. They couldn't run the football. Felt like they were missing a safety blanket, and defensively they really weren't doing their job. And that's what I think is probably going to happen here. I think Arizona, they were going through the motions last week. I think they probably will go through the motions a little bit here too. But I think them going through their motions will still be enough to win. I think Carolina keeps it competitive, but eventually I do believe the Arizona Cardinals will win.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think they're more talented. I think this team's defense will only get better as time goes on, and they're going to give Bryce Young hell all day long. Let's pivot to our next game, probably the best game of the 3 p.m. slate. We have the Philadelphia Eagles going on the road to play the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch of the Super Bowl, might I add. This one's going to be fun. KC just lost to the Chargers in Brazil, probably pretty pissed off. And the Philadelphia Eagles just won a nail-biter against the Cowboys. We both picked Philly to win this game based off what we saw in Brazil personally, which segues into, I think the Chiefs have a really good team this year, but they're not in the same caliber as we're used to seeing that juggernaut from the past couple years. In Philly, an absolute juggernaut. I think their talent shows up more here in week 2. I think they can beat you in a multitude of different ways, and the Chiefs just don't have that defensive roster to keep up with their firepower. But Metro, they're at home. This is an Arrowhead. Crowd can be a big-time factor here. You think this intimidates the Eagles enough to lose?
No. The reason why I went with Philadelphia over Kansas City went out there last week, and they showed flaws. And no Rashee Rice. We'll see what happens with Xavier Worthy. He got kicked out early because of the injury to his shoulder. Not sure if he's playing in this one. Probably not. I just didn't see enough juice from this offense for Kansas City. They didn't run the football well. The passing game took a while to get going. They don't have a ton of weapons now on the outside. Juju Smith-Schuster is your wide receiver 2 in the big 2025. Shouldn't happen. And defensively, it felt like Kansas City got beat up a little bit by the Chargers. Now, on the flip side, Philadelphia did not have a perfect game against the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys moved the ball very consistently. If CeeDee Lamb doesn't have a couple drops, Dallas Cowboys probably win that game. Philly, on the offensive end, dominated in the first half. Then the weather delay happened, and they started to struggle in the second half to make some adjustments to what the Dallas Cowboys were doing. I think Kansas City will have the coaching advantage here, just based off what I saw in week 1. But I think Philadelphia has a talent advantage. I think they will be able to score in bunches. I just don't see Kansas City right now scoring 31-plus points, and I think Philadelphia could. So I'll pick Saquon Barkley to have a big day here against the Chiefs, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles win.
Oh, they're going to say, win convincingly, but...
Oh, my bad.
Win
convincingly.
That's on me. I'm just a little bit slow. Philly, I'm right there with you, man. I think Saquon has a big day. I think they win this game. And let's pivot to our non-football question of the day. We are about halfway through this episode, if not more, so it's time for this question. But before we do that, if you guys are enjoying this awesome content we make together, we also make our own NFL content on our own respective channels. That man Metro waving at you right now, Metro Sports, giving you the finger, giving you the wave, that handsome lad, he makes awesome NFL analysis content, the best in the business, probably even better than this shit. Go check it out in the description, sub down below. That is the man, the myth, the legend. Go check him out. And if you want to change of pace, more NFL draft content, I'm your guy. If you're a sicko, go sub down below in the description at Cade Rathbone. Thank you very much. And if you're enjoying this video, drop a like because it boosts the algorithm to the moon and doubles your output on the algorithm. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Now, non-football question of the day, Metro. You ready for this one, sir?
Yes.
Question of the day is going to be, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Go-to would have to be, gosh, there's a lot of them. A lot of them I could think of. All right, I'll list them off. Lights by Ellie Goulding. That's got to be number one. Got to be number one.
This man's got deep
one.
ball of knowledge. I love me some Ellie. I love that shit. Keep going.
Here's another one. Another Ellie banger. Anything Can Happen. Banger of a song. Got to have that on the playlist.
Man, Metro, I love you, bro. That's like my closet. Like, bro, I love me some Ellie Goulding. Like, I'll be howling that shit in the car.
That's some stuff you only pull out if you're married, all right? If you're trying to impress a girl, don't pull out that song. If you're married or if you're 4 or 5 years deep into a relationship, you can pull that song out. But if you're trying to impress, yeah, if you're trying to impress, you're in 1 month of dating, just pull something else out.
Keep that in the bag.
Gosh, what's the I think his name's George Michael, something like that. Oh my gosh, Careless Whispers, is that what it is? That's a banger.
Ooh,
I can sing that entire song.
Those
would be my top three. 2 Ellie Goulding, 1 George Michael's. Probably another Taylor Swift song would be in there too. Yeah, we got some deep cuts here.
That's phenomenal. My question is, Metro, you have a pretty deep voice. I got a pipsqueak voice, so I could probably hit those notes. Can you hit those notes that Ellie's hitting?
I'm trying to. I'm putting everything into it, buddy. I'm putting everything I can into it. Trust me, I am.
I love it.
What about you? What would be your go-to?
Firework, Katy Perry.
Okay.
I mean,
banger.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
No, just can't go wrong. I think Friends in Low Places.
Oh,
fantastic.
Great
fantastic.
Song.
That's a good one if your voice is kind of shot, you're not hitting any notes. You can just kind of mumble that one in the microphone. Everyone catches along.
Great in Texas, by the way.
Oh, phenomenal. And then for the final one, that's a tough one. You took Ellie Goulding, man. I gotta actually think, because that's a damn good pull there out of the bag.
We gotta do a karaoke song draft.
Fire, dude. Are you kidding me? Will we rent a karaoke room and sing every pick? Dude, you know the Colts guy that sings
Oh my God, yes. This is our Colts. This is our team. I love that guy. I love him so much.
Me too.
Oh, what a guy.
We could be there for the draft, and then we'll get clowned, but it's okay. It'll be funny. We'll make somebody laugh, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
Final one, I'd probably say I would try to squeal the lyrics to "Summer of '69" by Bryan Adams, and I would fail because he hits some notes, but it's a good feeling song.
Well, shoot, as long as you feel okay afterwards, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
As long as you try.
Pretend no one's there. Pretend someone's there. Metro, thank you for entertaining me. I think those are some fantastic songs. And Ellie Goulding is something I didn't know you listened to. So I learned something new about you. Fire me up. Let's go back to football. We are now going to our Sunday night football game. We got Atlanta going on the road to Minneapolis to play the Minnesota Vikings. Look at this. This one's spicy. We both took the Atlanta Falcons. I took them as my underdog of the week, +4 or more. Metro just outright took their ass. Metro, I love the confidence. He thinks it's going to be a beatdown. 40-0 is what Metro just said. I believe I heard that right. Metro, what's the reasoning? What's our thinking?
Well, I think you're going to be pretty lucky. If you're watching the Vikings game right now, they're not playing too hot, so that line might drop a little bit. But you know what? Forward thinking. Recording on Monday, this is a 15,000 IQ play you're playing right here. I think the Atlanta Falcons, despite the loss, have a lot to look forward to. Penix played a really solid game. Bijan will play better. Drake London will get healthy. Those pass rushers will start to pick up. They lost versus Tampa Bay, but you got to like what you saw. Versus this Vikings team, this will be a different look for Penix. But Penix is, let's be honest, he's kind of an unk. I mean, he was a 6-year guy in college. He's like 25 now, so he's not a young dude, right? He's not your traditional rookie, so I'm not too worried about it. Minnesota presents their own unique challenges. They will be able to get after the quarterback, but when it comes down to it, I just right now, from what I'm seeing with this Minnesota team, their offense just can't move the ball consistently right now. J.J. McCarthy is a young quarterback who's still figuring things out. Atlanta's defense is not incredible, but I think they present enough challenges. And I just have more confidence in Michael Penix and his supporting cast right now, more so than Minnesota. But I think Minnesota long-term will be the better team.
Well said, man. I think the Vikings have a better roster, just like you said. But Atlanta showed a lot on that defense last week against a really, really good offense with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Penix, like you mentioned, he's kind of an unk, man. He's been in the game of football for a while. going back to a bunch of key games he had, because it's going to be loud down there in Minneapolis. He played in the Sugar Bowl in the semifinal of the college football playoff against Texas, 137-31. He put up 430 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you're thinking, Cade, why the hell are we talking about college football? This was a loud environment in a dome in a unfamiliar setting, and he balled out. He seems to rise to the occasion when his number's called. That's what I'm translating here into this game. I think Penix gets it done and gets us upset on the road. Metro, I think we're both aligned on an upset pick. I'm fired up about it. We'll be watching this one for sure, Sunday Night Football. Any other thoughts on this game?
No, it'll be a fun game. We'll see if McCarthy can turn it around in the second half here. Right now it's halftime, 10-6 Chicago, so we'll have to wait and see. Not really loving what I'm seeing from him so far. I think he's thrown for, again, this is first half numbers here. He could go in the second half and score 18 touchdowns, and I'll look like an idiot, but I'll put it on the line here. He's 5 of 8 for 47 yards through one half. So, again, maybe he'll turn around. With that said, I just love what I saw from Penix. I thought he played clean. I thought everything looked good, and they could have played better, especially running the football. They will have more success running the football versus Minnesota, and if they do, yeah, give me the Falcons. I think this will be a big win for them.
Big W for the Falcons on Sunday Night Football, NBC. Let's go to Monday. We got 2 games this Monday, and some really good ones, to be honest. First one's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road to the Houston Texans at 6 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. Metro, we went against each other here. You're going Tampa Bay. I'm going with Houston at home. Reason for the Houston win, I think Houston played the Rams well, didn't execute enough on offense, and had an unfortunate turnover with that pick that Stroud threw. I thought it was more of a play on the defense to be just to kind of clear it up, but I thought they played really well against a really good team. I think at home, that Houston crowd gets rowdy. I've been to a game there before during primetime. I think they do it again and get this win. But Metro, Tampa Bay is stupid loaded with talent. Why do you think they're going to win?
Yeah, I look at that Houston offensive line. I think it's a worse unit this year than it was last year, and that was already a bottom 5 unit last year. Tampa Bay doesn't have elite pass rushers, but I do think Hassan Reddick has shown glimpses, and we saw a decent game from him last week. I think he could have a big one here. I just think they're going to get a lot of pressure on him. Houston will not be able to run the football. I think they'll become one-dimensional in this game, which will allow Tampa Bay to really go after the quarterback, really target it on Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins and those guys. So that's why I do have Tampa Bay winning, as well as, look, Tampa Bay, they did not play great last week versus the Falcons, and they still won. They were able to put together some drives. Baker was clutch. I thought the offense got better as the game went on. I think versus Houston, this is a tough challenge. That Houston defense is great, but I think what you'll see here is 2 offenses that, might struggle a little bit. But if there's an offense who I'm going to trust to eventually score some points, it will be Tampa Bay. Big sort of thing to keep an eye on here. Turnovers. Baker Mayfield cannot give the ball to Houston in plus territory because that will help the Houston Texans case, because I don't think the Texans offense will score a ton of points, but I do think if they can create some turnovers on the defensive end, Houston's offense might be able to put up some bigger numbers. So keep an eye on Baker Mayfield on those interceptions and fumbles and things of that nature. If they can minimize those, then I feel pretty good about the Buccaneers here.
Hey, well said, Metro. CJ Stroud has to play a perfect game to win this one. At home, that's what I'm banking on, and that awesome defense to control the football throughout the game and get that football back to their offense and give them multiple chances throughout the game. Awesome matchup. Looking forward to this one at 6 p.m. But we got one more at 9 p.m., a diabolical time for those that have jobs. We got the Los Angeles Chargers going on the road to the Las Vegas Raiders. Metro, with a sweep here, we both took the Chargers after their big win in Brazil on Friday Night Light Football. The Vegas Raiders also won last week against a pretty good team with New England. What do we think will be the X factor in this game in your eyes, Metro?
I think can they cover the receivers for the Chargers? Last week, the Chargers had multiple guys with over 5 catches, over 50 yards. If that happens this week, it might be game over for the Raiders. The Raiders, offensively, they have pieces. They got to get Genty going. It feels like it's taking him a little while here. He didn't have a great game last week. He wasn't great in the preseason. If they want to win this game, they got to limit the possessions. They got to win the time of possession, create some turnovers defensively, make Justin Herbert uncomfortable by getting after him with Max Crosby. It's possible that Las Vegas wins, but I'm going with the Chargers. They really impressed me last week. They did some things to Chiefs that we haven't seen in a couple years, and they can pass the football now. We'll see if Najee gets more incorporated in this offense too. He might get some more from the running game as well. Just protect against Max Crosby, run the football, tire them out. I think the Chargers win this game. I think they win it handily. I think this is a bit of a statement game here for the Chargers to continue to prove that they are one of those teams.
Yeah, after what we saw from Herbert last week, Metro, I got to be 10 toes down here with the Chargers. I always like them as a team overall, too. I think there's a very good squad this year from our preseason power rankings in the beginning. One more thing for the Las Vegas Raiders. If they want to win this game, like you said, coach is going to go, all right, guys, we need, as in Pete Carroll, he's going to, we need to win this game, and here's how we're going to do it. He's going to point to one man in the room. It's going to be Max Crosby. He needs to have an absolute field day to keep this team in contention and slow this offense down. The DBs, I'm telling you right now, spoiler, are probably not going to get it done. But if we can get Herbert uncomfortable and a little bit scared, a turnover here, a turnover there, now we're cooking with gas. That's the key to the game. Max Crosby, how hard can you carry this squad? Metro, this is the entire lineup of all our games. Do you have any final thoughts before we close this out?
No, before we go, do you want to, I know we talked a bit earlier, we are currently tied 8-8 with the score, pending the result of the Monday Night Football game. If Minnesota wins, then I get 9. If Chicago wins, Cade gets 9. So one of us will win week 1 this upcoming week. Do you want to break down how we get the score and what we're going to be doing the entire season?
Yep, you got it. So for every game, you're going to score this. If you get it right, you get 1 point. If you get nothing right or you get nothing right for the game, it's just 0 points. And we have 2 twists to this game to make it a little bit more fun. You got a lock of the week. If you get a lock right, it's like 1 point. It's just like anything. But if you get the lock wrong, that is a cardinal sin. -3 points for the week. So you cannot afford to get this one wrong. Puts you in hell for the week slate. And then finally, the underdog of the week. As we mentioned multiple times, they got to be +4 on a betting platform. We use FanDuel to stay consistent. If they're +4, there you could be eligible to pick them. If you get this one right, you get +3 points for the week. A huge turnaround for your weekly slate. If you get it wrong, no penalty. It's a shot in the dark. You're taking all upside. So to review, 1 and 0 for regular picks. If you take a lock, it's 1 or -3. And if you take an underdog, it's going to be +3. Or -0. That's how we scored out last week, Metro mentioned. Currently, we're both at 50% even, 8 out of 15 games. And depending on how this last one goes, Metro would be up 1 to like 55%, 56%, and one of us will be at 50%. This is going to be fun. We're starting off on a good foot, Metro. I'm excited for this week 2, man. This is where we could separate ourselves, get ourselves into the 60 percentile. What do you say, buddy?
Yes, we are going to be doing this, by the way, every single week. So if you guys want to track it too, let us know your picks, your underdogs, your locks. Let us know in the comment section below. Keep up with the score. We'll be doing this every single video. We'll be updating you every single predictions video. So if you do enjoy this type of stuff, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. And yeah, we'll be back with our reaction to week 2 in a couple days.
I mean, Metro, you just closed it out perfectly. Get us out of here, man. You cooked.
If you guys enjoyed, hit the like and subscribe button. Subscribe to Cade. Subscribe to me. Cade, get us out of here.
Love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.